That's messed up.
That's crazy because mine's right.
Although
I
I
don't
will
think it's happening.
say I'm liking this aspect of it better than Skype because I actually have all three of you and me on the screen, and it's not constantly switching back and forth. And even though I have this one person selected, I can see them, and then 2 seconds later, all I see is just their little initials and all that stuff. So far, that is winning me over.
So is that normal?
Your
now?
lower third is right ways. You yourself, I think, is still backwards. So.
I like the way I look. What's the problem?
It's not right. But you are Canadian, and therefore your house is technically Canadian soil, so it would be backwards anyway.
Canadian?
All right,
Yeah.
we're live.
Good evening.
We want to try to avoid offending as many as possible. Or wait a minute, did I say that right?
You need to get out there right now. Get out right now.
So the last week has been abuse, for lack of a better term. The storms have been abuse. The hours we've kept have been abuse. And I don't think we really got anything to talk about. Well, Patty might.
Well, we had storms come in on Sunday morning early. I don't know what time they actually entered into our watch warning area because I got up at 8 o'clock to get ready for work. And as I was getting dressed, my phone went off in my pocket with a watch. And I popped the radar up while still standing in the bathroom, and it was already into our area, and several warnings had been issued. That went on to spawn some tremendous hail, and did move into the Greene County area, though the winds here didn't seem to translate down to the ground. There was some hail. Monday was a slight risk day, which was the day we were all kind of looking at. Sunday kind of left us scrambling because it was a marginal risk day. Not an excuse. You're still expecting storms, but we weren't expecting to the extent that they were, and I don't think any of us were expecting them to pop a watch on that, especially from what the SPC had said. What I'm showing here on the radar is the storms that came through ultimately on Monday that we were anticipating, with a line of storms that produced insane wind. As you can see the progression here, some of that was 95-mile-an-hour winds.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm not seeing your screen. I don't know.
You're not seeing my screen.
You're not. It's not sharing.
Again?
Again. I think it's Windows.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I didn't want to.
Well, I gotta know. Did that show?
Not showing.
Basically, what it does, it kicks me out of the 4 view, and I just have a gray screen. And then whenever I go back to where I've got, the 3 of you and then me, it just shows a blank black screen.
Interesting, because it kills my camera. And how about?
It shouldn't kill your camera.
Let me try something different here.
And your camera resolution is poo.
Is that better?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Samey.
Not seeing it. And it was working so good last
Yeah,
night.
I know.
It was.
We'll come back in 3 hours and things will start working fine. That's what we.
But it's probably because everybody and their puppy dog is using the Jitsi server we happen to be on.
It could be. Anyway, I found on the National Weather Service website the Sunday event. Some areas receiving 95-mile-an-hour winds. Now, I work with a lady who was at Bennett Springs, not knowing storms were coming her way. She was trout fishing.
Mhm.
And of course, if you've been up there, you know that that's a big valley. And when she saw the clouds, the big black cloud coming her way, she said trees started exploding on the top of the hillside.
Ooh.
And they ran for the car, and they were the access they were at, she said, was B highway. I in my head can't picture where that comes out, but they took a run for uh local gas station,
Mhm.
so they weren't caught in their car. Well, they were dodging down trees in the process. But her report was the trees were literally exploding, and she showed me photos of trees in the aftermath, and it did look like they just exploded, which is why people thought it was a tornado.
Gotcha.
Tornadoes aren't 6 miles wide, and the path of destruction there, from the reports that I took and turned in, was 6 miles wide. From mile marker 122 to mile marker 128, big trucks rolled over, sheds and other buildings blown into the interstate from Lebanon, trees and I got that report from a driver too. It looked like the trees exploded into the interstate, and they're not that close to the interstate. The trees are not.
Not
Uh,
usually. Or a little
not
way
not in that stretch. So, and I heard or saw a report in NWS chat where there were 2 boats from the tracker plant there that were blown into the median.
I think I remember seeing that as well.
So that was an insane event. Springfield got lucky. There were some areas of Greene County that took some damage, had some golf ball size hail.
It was mostly the northwestern corner, wasn't it?
It was the northwest that got the wind, and it was the southwest that got the hail.
Yeah.
So, we got very, very lucky in this county. But as far as the region, they're going to be cleaning this up for a long time. Just those 2 events. That doesn't count what happened last week. So
No.
that's my take. We've kind of been slammed, and what folks may not know, this is a Greene County Skywarn chat, but our blog, but everyone in here is involved with the regional to some extent.
Yeah.
So
And kind of the Springfield, Greene County area is maybe not exactly geographically, but it's kind of sort of the center of the Southwest regional area. The National Weather Service office that services all of these counties are based here in Springfield. The repeater that, whether it covers it directly or it covers the rest of the counties through linked repeaters, is maybe only like about 25, 30 miles east of Springfield. So it's kind of the center of the Southwest Missouri Skywarn area or community.
kind of the hub.
Yeah.
So to speak. Yeah. So so we all get affected. Now, what came through Sunday wasn't supposed to be the big event. We got a buy. And I think the powers above, the good Lord, that we did, because the risk that we could have been under, the moderate risk that was popped for some of our counties, including here, had that warm front lifted and not become a stationary front, I can't imagine the extent of damage on top of what we'd already experienced across the region. So that, fortunately, I guess, or unfortunately for the event, but fortunately for us, that front that moved, or the storms that moved through or stabilized our atmosphere.
Mhm.
And so we got no more. There were a few tried to pop, but they didn't do anything.
Now, I'm just going off of my own observations from Monday, but was it kind of late Monday morning, early in the afternoon when that kind of became that stationary front and kind of pushed things below, or was that even starting before that?
It was pushing south when the storms came through from northwest to southeast.
Okay. So that's
Okay,
why
and
we had the active morning and then kind of the late afternoon and evening. At
right,
least
they were anticipating
Thank
it
you.
pushed south. It pushed down to about Little Rock, I believe. And it was supposed to start pushing back up, and that's when they anticipated that things were really going to bust loose.
So it was the
And
ultimate cap, right?
basically,
Because when it hit
well,
that warm air, it just went, sorry, I'm going back to water vapor. It's not going to be a thing.
right.
Yeah.
Earth is always looking for a stable point. Our atmosphere is always looking to stabilize itself. It never fully does. If it did, we would not be experiencing rain. We'd have some periods that, or some areas of the world that would just be arid, and others that Steve likes to refer to the Coriolis effect.
Yeah.
We have, yeah, it kind of drives things, doesn't it?
We wouldn't have seasons. We wouldn't have weather.
Exactly.
It'd be
We
the
wouldn't have
same all the time.
we wouldn't have weather without it. And we need weather. We need weather for our trees to do what they do, for our plants to grow, for our water to drink and take our baths in.
And for our food source, whether they're plant or animal based.
Exactly. So, but there are times, such as Monday, when it does find a stable point for a short time. And that's what we had. So
we have nice weather.
Yeah. And we had a couple of days of really beautiful weather. Tomorrow night, it's going to freeze. It's
That's what I had heard.
going to be the second week of May. We're going to have areas of frost.
Well, as you
That
so
seems
gleefully
wrong.
pointed out, there has been, and I got evidence on my Facebook page of a snowfall in May, right after I mowed the grass. And
the 3rd of May, 2013.
yeah, but it melted really quickly, and so I'm gonna remind. Well, no, let me change how I'm saying this. I watched Jim Cantori on the Weather Channel. And he was explaining the semi-Arctic front that was coming down. But the good news for us is we've got a high-pressure area that's down in Mexico that's fighting it. So it's going to push it towards the east. So, and it's going to generate some snow. They're going to have snow up in Vermont and Maine and possibly as far south as New York City. But we will see very short-term cold temperatures as it will be replaced quickly with a very warm high-pressure area. But there's another one in the Pacific headed this way. So, we're in that time of the world where the Earth is unstable. Not just the people.
Yeah.
I have questions that may not get answered in my lifetime. But a couple of years ago, we had an earthquake out in the middle of the Indian Ocean that actually rattled the earth hard enough to move it on its axis. And I have to wonder how much that played a role in changing weather.
Oh, it should.
It didn't move it much, but it moved it, and any movement, any change in the tilt is going to change the Coriolis effect, I would think.
Well, if you take into account the main reason why we have our night and day cycles the way that they are, partially in addition to the rotation and our revolving around the sun, the tilt of the Earth has to affect with our seasons and everything. If we were just straight up and down, we would have probably 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of sunlight of night every day, every year. There wouldn't be a difference between summer here and winter down here. it's going to change our weather patterns. I almost guarantee.
Yeah.
Now, to
But
what
since we don't know enough about our weather patterns over thousands of years, we're not going to know for thousands of years if that actually had the effect. But it makes me wonder. The tilt of Earth does affect our weather. It does affect our seasons. How much did that play a role in the fact that we're getting more severe weather now? Or seems to be now. Did it affect El Nino? Did it affect La Nina? Because it affected the ocean currents tremendously.
And that again, also a lot of our heating, cooling of the atmosphere, and everything, and kind of how our weather patterns come from. Are those currents how they bring cooler or warmer water through, and then that heats up the atmosphere above it, and that's kind of the basis of how you get hurricanes that form when you've got a certain type of front over a certain temperature of water that kicks off a hurricane.
Welcome back, Stephen. We do kind of a Thursday evening, kind of just general weather chat. This isn't really net controls or directly Skywarn related, but we're just kind of chatting right now about the tilt of the Earth and how it affects the weather.
We're not geeks at all.
No, not at all. And by the way, there for a bit, you had two screens open. If you can hear me,
it went off.
Yeah, I thought I was seeing double there for a minute.
It's when that was the
he lost his internet a while ago, and he was apologizing. That
like I'm gonna go close my daughter's door. I don't know if he's serenading us back there. Hold on, just
it's not the cat, is it?
No.
I can't.
Oh,
there it is.
I'm gonna say that is an impressive amateur station behind you, Stephen.
Yeah.
I don't think he can hear us.
I don't know. Yes, I noticed it earlier during the debriefing call, and I was like, "That's a nice setup."
I sent him a text. I don't know if he'll catch it.
Okay.
He's trying to figure things out. Did we lose? No, Rodney's there.
No, Rodney just went to go do something real quick.
Oh, that's right. His daughter.
He had to shut down the serenade.
Dude,
really? I mean, he was complaining about the cat, and I was like, I don't hear the cat. We're good. Let's go.
I like his office chair, too. That looks comfy. But I like my office chair, too.
He's got a lot bigger room than we got, I think. Well, maybe not you, Patty, but...
I would like a nice big high back. I can rest my head back chair, but I probably don't want to pay for it.
You need to have a bookcase behind you, Franklin.
I will eventually have a bookcase behind me. Maybe, possibly, if I can get my lazy rear end going, possibly this weekend.
I want to get rid of the table that's behind me and build shelves like he's got for storage, or where the shelves are to my right, I would like to build a cabinet with closing doors to hide the junk.
Oh,
we'll see.
Ooh, whoa! What's this? Oh boy!
Trying to become fancy with multiple angles.
Wow, you look like a regular radio guy there, man. This is Rodney radio
Look at all
station.
his screens. I don't have enough desk space for that.
I have enough that if I had a second output, I could put a third monitor on this desk, and I would not be opposed to it.
I would not be opposed to it. If I moved my lamp over between the two radios, I would still have the light I need, and I would have room for another monitor.
I'm hoping if I ever get the Mac Pro working, because it's got a couple open slots in the back where I could add more graphics cards. I'm hoping to pick up another graphics card that'll run on it that will at least run one more, if not two more monitors. And I actually have enough old Apple cinema displays I could run 4 on it.
Well, Rodney knows about my duh moment.
Okay.
I had bought a video audio capture card years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 4 years ago I bought this thing with the idea that I was going to use an analog camera into it for doing shots of the moon because I have a couple of little ones.
Uh-huh.
And it occurred to me, well, duh, these audio mixers have line level outs. That has line levels in.
Ding.
Ding, ding, ding. There's your sign. I hooked it up, and I told Patty, I said, I'm not gonna break stuff before this live stream, but I hooked it up today just on a whim, and it's like, I built adapters. I'm not kidding, and it feeds it right into OBS, and it's just happy as it can be, and I'm like, damn it.
And it opened up my eyes. I saw the sign.
Isn't that? That's you sit there and
Soundboard
the answer to your
spinning.
problem is right there, and you're like everywhere else but.
But you forgot that you bought it 4 years ago.
Yeah. And I've had your mixer running, and
okay.
What I've discovered is that my old combination of dynamic mics, it doesn't have enough input gain to run them properly. So I've got to preamp them somehow. Now, if you do this the way that Bob Heil would do it, Bob Heil would go get a Cloudlifter CL1 and put in there, which boosts it about 20 dB, but those are about $150.
Gotcha.
So
I've got to build one.
Okay. So I don't know how many of you know Dale Moore, and I can't think of his call sign off the top of my head, but he used to be the PIO for Greene County Office of Emergency Management. Long time ham. He also is a professor of media over at Drury.
Did he ever do any phone interviews on KKTS during severe weather for OEM?
He did.
He has.
Okay,
but
that's probably why I heard the name.
You'll know his voice because he was always on the telethons for KOZK.
Okay.
Dale Moore was. I don't know. There's a video out there, I'm sure.
Yeah, and he's also one of the hosts of Ozark Today on KOZK.
Okay.
So you'll know him. Anyway, he made this post. He does these dialogues. They're delightful, especially if he's got a student in his class that's trying to get out of something with a unique story. He'll post those. And he teaches master's level, by the way. Okay. So, Barber, long time no see. Me, if I weren't wearing this mask, I'd kiss you. Barber, wow, sorry I can't give you a haircut, but I can give you an estimate. Me, don't toy with me. Barbara, I'm also friends with an arborist who might work you in. Me, the next sound I hear had better be a buzz. Barber, hang on, let me check the gas in this thing.
No, my word. That's like a series of dad jokes.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh my, what? Oh, this is great. So you heard about the woman that got killed by the alligator, right?
No.
Sad story. But who would reach out to pet an alligator? I don't know. She was a hairstylist, and she went to someone's home to do their hair, and while there reached out to pet this alligator that drug her under the water and killed her. So I think she has brothers in Arkansas. Not to speak badly of the dead, but I'm seeing this story in front of me that 2 Arkansas men were arrested for taking turns shooting each other while wearing bulletproof vests after drinking. Not weather related, but it just
you,
makes
Rob.
you go.
Thank you. And I'm assuming the 2 gentlemen's names were not Penn and Teller.
No,
Okay.
I didn't read the whole article.
Where they do that and one catches the bullet in their mouth. I was thinking maybe
I didn't see a Clark Kent type character in there at all.
I thought maybe, well, they're obviously not performing during the whole coronavirus, saying maybe they had retired to Arkansas to practice, you know, to brush up for when they get to go back on the stage.
All
Rodney,
right.
you're right again.
So here we go.
Your mic is over your right shoulder now, not your left.
Oh,
And
baby.
your
Tell me
T-shirt,
how it
I
needs
can
to
read
be.
it now.
Oh, I fixed it. You know how that is.
All right.
Although, oddly enough, speaking about things not being the right way, you know how they did those on the old Batman TV show every time they were climbing up the side of the building?
Okay. I don't know how they did it.
They actually filmed Adam West and Burt Ward walking on the floor like this, like they were crouching, and then they flipped the video.
All right.
Like on a green screen, right?
So Patty
Kinda.
did it.
Probably, I'd say, I don't know exactly how they would do that. Maybe it had something to do with maybe
They do.
compositing back in that day, maybe.
They do a lot of green screens and have done that for a long time, where they'll have people like lay on the floor and they're doing this and they're flying, but they're not.
Yeah.
And it's all done on green screen.
Now, I do know previous to the digital revolution, you could do analog rotoscoping. So maybe it was like something like optical compositing and maybe rotoscoping, but yeah, that's how they did it.
Okay, so since Patty started it, here we go. The DEA,
I have a
and
question,
this is a
teacher.
matter of fact.
I have
for
a
Dan
question,
Wisdom.
teacher. I'm holding up my hand.
This one's for
Yeah.
Dan Wisdom, okay? The DEA officer stopped by our farm yesterday. I need to inspect your farm for illegal growing drugs. I said, okay, but don't go in that field over there. The DEA officer verbally exploded, saying, Mister, I have the authority of the federal government with me. Reaching into his rear pants pocket, the arrogant officer removed his badge, showed it in my face. See this blanking badge? This badge means I'm allowed to go wherever I wish, on any land. No questions asked or answers given. Have I made myself clear? Do you understand? I nodded politely, apologized, and went about my chores. Short time later, I heard loud screams. I looked up and saw the DEA officer running for his life, being chased by my big old mean bull. With every step, the bull was gaining ground on the officer, as it seemed likely he'd sure enough get gored before he reached safety. The officer was clearly terrified. I threw down my tools and ran to the fence and yelled at the top of my lungs, "Your badge! Show him your badge!"
Oh boy.
This is why we have live YouTube.
That's
Oh,
right.
boy.
So,
Patty would like
Question.
to speak. It's apparent as it just keeps coming up. How many times did you push that thing?
I didn't keep count. Goes back to Franklin, actually. What's rotoscoping?
I don't know 100%. Basically, I don't know how they do it, but it involves actually being able to take like someone in a scene and either completely remove them, add them in, or say like they're standing here in the frame and you want them over here, you cut them out and move them over here. Now, I know it's really used heavily with digital editing, and I didn't even realize that before digital computer editing and graphics and all that stuff, that it was even possible. But apparently they did some primitive analog rotoscoping on the original Star Wars trilogy movies.
Ah, okay.
It's used a lot to slightly correct stuff, like maybe someone's standing here and someone's standing here, and there's just too much of a gap between them. You can rotoscope them to bring them together.
Okay.
It was done manually with glass panels, and now it's done digitally with chroma key or green screen.
Google
And see, that's like a lot of people didn't realize. So, which basically, chroma key is a type of compositing. Used to, you would even have in really, really old school optical compositing, where you actually maybe have like some frames of film that they actually cut out and put over other film. I'm assuming basically Disney's multi-plane camera is a form of very, very early optical compositing where you have multiple layers of stuff that builds up to create one scene in an animated movie. But a lot of times, like in some stuff, if you'll see like a very faint, like little white outline, or sometimes like a little black outline around something, particularly in older movies with digital editing and stuff, they can pretty much take that out anymore. And in fact, with the digital compositing, it's probably not even really there that much. But that was a sign before the digital revolution in movies that, yeah, likely that was composited.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, they've done some amazing things across the years and digitizing things now. I know early on it was kind of hokey looking, but there are some of the characters that they create now that look like they're real.
They've really done and expanded and evolved the technology to the point. It's outstanding. All you have to do is look at the movie Rogue One. The guy who played Grand Moff Tarkin is a combination of a guy actually on set, looks very much like Peter Cushing, but not exactly. But with a combination of putting basically a digital version of Peter Cushing's face over his. And there was
really,
yeah, and there was some controversy about that because people was like, well, if they can just do that, then they can use people's likenesses and not have to compensate them and all this and everything. Disney and Lucasfilms went to Peter Cushing's family and said, this is what we'd like to do. This story, particularly, in what's now called Star Wars Legends, used to be the old EU that was part of the old canon. Grand Moff Tarkin was so integral to the story of not only the Death Star, but just the general mentality of how the Empire handled the galaxy. It was called, in very much like the Marshall Plan, I'm sure, the Tarkin Doctrine or the Monroe Doctrine. So we just feel like we have to have this character in this movie, and this is what we'd like to do to kind of pay homage to Peter Cushing from the original movie. His family was totally on board with it, and they were like, we'd love to do this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's also kind of what they did to get Leia, a young Leia, even though at that time Carrie Fisher was still alive. But at the very end of the movie, where you briefly see Princess Leia as she looked from A New Hope, that's how they did that as well. Was I believe it was another actress again, looked very much like Carrie Fisher did when, believe it or not, I think she was 16 or 17 when they made that movie.
Yeah, she wasn't very old.
Then put a digital version of Carrie Fisher's face over her face, but it's not exactly covering up because some of the actual actors' features, I believe, showed through as well. But yeah, that's how they did those two characters in Rogue One, and it looked fantastic.
I haven't
And
seen
this has
any of the
been
new
your
ones.
commentary for the evening.
Yeah. I'm a Star Wars fan, particularly a lot of the old EU content, or if you're not familiar what that stands for, expanded universe. A lot of stuff that George Lucas considered, okay, it's not the movies, it's not officially from Lucasfilm directly, but we have endorsed it, we've okayed it, we've given them their blessing. So kind of like a second tier canon. I was heavily into all of that stuff. I still like the new trilogy, but wholeheartedly, I feel of anything movie-wise that Disney has put out since they've acquired Star Wars, Rogue One is the best.
So, anything else about weather?
Ah,
Ah,
it's raining.
such a segue.
It's raining. I can
Yes.
hear it on the roof.
It is raining.
Yep, that was
Well,
a hell
we
of
were
a
definitely
week.
prepared tonight, weren't we?
Let's see. I've got on radar scope. I've got
That's showing up.
rain.
Nope.
Imping rain.
I'm gonna have to reboot to make that work.
Imping rain. Imping rain. Let's go down here to the very end. Nope. Imping rain.
I already deleted the link out of my email, but I've got it where I can come back. I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I do reboot faster now.
I do happen to have my radar scope up. Do you want me to see if I can try to screen sharing if it comes through?
Do it.
Okay.
If we're gonna
Let me
break
click
it,
on-
we might as well break it on live TV, right?
Yeah. Hey, my ideal is if you're gonna screw up, you might as well screw up good.
Right. Yeah. Don't
And
mess
we
around
must
with
be
that little bitty
professionals
stuff.
then.
We can't
Now,
be having any of that.
what do I do to share my screen? Because
Okay, on the bottom on your big screen,
yeah.
not your little screen, on the bottom of the big screen, there's a box to the far left.
Uh-huh.
Click it.
Oh, box to the far left. Okay, I was doing the little 3 dots.
No.
Okay.
No.
There we go. Share your screen, select screen 2, and share. Now, it does not give me any indication.
Ta-da! You're there.
Thing.
You're there.
Wow.
Just be you need to reset or something.
Wow, that looks really good.
That's a lot of rain.
That does look very good.
Oh, yeah. And
And
then,
I've got a really
Well,
different view in level 2.
this is what
I
I was reading earlier. These are all rain reports.
Yeah. So let me reboot because I think this would be a great chance between Franklin and I to show the difference between level 2 and level 3 radar.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be back.
And I still have not emailed them. I need to email Radar Scope and ask because they claim somewhere they have level 2 data, but I just cannot really find clear documentation on what, if anything, is level 2.
You need.
I can't either, and unless it's in the tier 2 package, I don't know, but they're not real forthcoming about that. I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah. Let me.
Google is your friend.
Yeah.
That would be Iowa State. Ugh. You're not paying for. You're not paying for something, are you?
What do you mean?
For radar, are you?
I'm paying $9.99 a year for the Tier 1 Pro on Radar Scope, but that's it. Well, actually, I take that back. I'm paying that twice because I'm paying it for the phone and then for the desktop. So I'm basically paying $19.98 a year.
This is the new level
The
2
new.
radar data from Iowa State. 。
Ah.
and you should be able to copy and paste that right in.
Oh, okay. You sent it in the thingy.
In Jungle Chasers.
Okay, I thought you were going to screen share. I got you.
So that way you can just copy it and put it in.
Cool.
I've got a version of Linux program that will read level 2 from Iowa State, but it doesn't do all the fancy stuff. It just will display a single image.
Now, is that the one that's operated? I see here at the top it says radar operated by University of Missouri. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's you just want to use the link in the program. The link won't open anything particularly correct.
Oh, okay.
That's just the link that you use in your software to get the level 2 raw data.
Oh, okay, I see. Here, let me go ahead and let me open up Firefox here real quick. Okay. HTTP /so net dash netrat.
What you eating there, Rodney?
I got me some cashew chicken.
Ooh, cashew kitty, my favorite.
I couldn't help it. I was getting hungry, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to eat on camera." But
Yeah, what the heck, man? That's a Springfield invention there, cashew kitty or cashew chicken.
Okay, Steve, I put that in, and I still come up with the same screen. Here, let me go ahead and screen share so you can actually see what I got.
I mean, if you're paying for data, you may be already getting level 2.
This is what I'm seeing whenever I put in that link.
Yeah, it's not coming up yet. Being slow.
is this yours, Steve? Is this coming from yours?
No, it should be me.
Now you're not coming through now.
That's weird. I'm showing it coming on my little small screen that shows what I'm sending.
Yeah, it's not coming in.
Wow. Let me redo this here.
I get the feeling that it's when we tested late the other night that the data was not heavily used.
Mm-hmm. Let me try this one more time.
I mean, I can shut my camera off and see if that helps any.
Is it possibly coming through now?
Nope.
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 I'm wondering if it's like a block certain things it won't let you screen share.
No, we had all kinds of stuff going last night. It's just, I think, data being used. So one of the things I saw as learning process behind Jitsi is that you can have your own server, but you have to have like a virtual machine somewhere. There it is.
Gotcha. You're seeing my radar now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now let me see if I throw that up. Do you see the screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. So see, that's what I was asking about if I was supposed to click this link for the University of Missouri or. Okay.
No, that mesonet-nexrad.agron iowastate.edu. That's the link to get the raw data.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then what do I do with it from here?
You put it in your program as the link to where your data goes to.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah. I don't think I can do that in Radar Scope. Let me put this down here, and then let me go to preferences here. And basically, radar data is coming from either Radar Scope or NOAA, or if you have an Allison House account, Warnings are radar scope or Allison House. Lightning data is again radar scope, or if you got the Pro or Allison House. Storm tracks, NOAA or Allison House, and then premium products if you've got the Tier 2 or Allison House. And then like radar scope, if you've got the Pro Tier 2, you can sign in here. Weather Ops, I guess, is like a more of kind of like a corporate type enterprise product. This is where you would put in your credentials for if you have an Allison House account and find for Spotter Network. So I don't think there's any option for me to put in any kind of alternative feed or source or anything like that. And
have you taken the Spotter Network training?
Oh yeah, if I hadn't done that and passed their test, I wouldn't be able to show up on the radar or post to Spotter Network for like observations and stuff.
Right. Okay. Because they do provide some feeds in there if you go in and make that adjustment. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, and see, that's where I'm getting the little red dots. If anyone saw that on the radar, there are the locations of individual spotters who are signed in through Spotter Network. So if I had done all that, I would be getting that either.
So, can you see it now?
No.
Nope.
No?
Unshare it and reshare it a time or two, and we'll see, because it took Franklin a couple times. You don't have Facebook running in the background, do you?
As a matter of fact.
Yeah, kill that. That's like a memory hog.
I'm still wondering.
That shouldn't be the issue. That I really don't think that's the issue.
Let me try this one more time here real quick.
There is a way with the 3 dots. If I can get to a big box for me again. With the 3 dots, it says...
Seeing Franklin now.
You're seeing that screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. See, that was the one that was not shown earlier, so that's why I was wondering if maybe for some reason it just would not allow this to be shared. But whenever I had the radar screen up and then opened this window, it shared it fine, and it's sharing it fine now. So maybe Steve's right. Maybe it's just a bandwidth thing.
Well, if that's the case, then let me see if I can share mine. I don't know which screen to share.
Whichever one will get you in the least amount of trouble.
I don't have one like that.
I have to reboot. All right, here, let me see.
I'm going to put it just on rock.
Y'all see that?
Okay, I see it now. It took it like a second. It went black and then went to the gray screen, and now I see your different. I guess those are audio panels.
Holy cow!
Yeah, that's my soundboard until I can get something better.
Oh, that's
nice.
Gotcha.
Yep. But yeah, that works. So uncheck this here. I'm back. Hey.
What about now?
No. And I'm looking at your thing here. You both have got poor transmission. It's saying like Steve right now is at 69K. He's barely.
Oh, mine's at 89K. We probably need to reboot the modem. It's been months.
No, it hadn't.
Probably because he's streaming Facebook and this at the same time.
Now mine is at 2,574 kilobits.
Give it a try now Let's see if that works.
So,
Who's in here? Who joined us?
Are we back?
You're in here twice, Franklin.
I am. Interesting.
yeah, you are.
Yeah, but one of them is not.
Huh.
Maybe
And
it was
I'm down
from
to
previous time.
106 kilobits per
So,
second.
Franklin, do
So
you feel beside yourself?
Time down, 741 up.
So are we going to change the? Well, I guess we'll leave it that way.
Yeah.
Skywarn meeting debriefing.
Yeah.
No, not for this.
That's what the title is at the top.
Yeah, but our live stream doesn't say that.
The live stream says something different, but that's just the meaning.
Right. It's just because we kept the same meeting. We didn't start a new one.
Right. Right.
Oh, guess what? I got my latches today.
You're what?
Here, hold on. I'm really excited about this.
Hey, Steve.
So
Yeah.
go ahead.
See there's my stream mate.
Oh,
Right
that's
here.
cool.
Oh, nice.
That's very nice. What do you think of my lighting?
You look good.
I like it.
Better, worse?
I mean,
I like it. I think it's okay. It might look a little bit better because you've got kind of like, okay, like
On
if
one
you're looking
side of
at
my
it, okay,
face.
you've got the lighting behind here, kind of like by the cabinet, and it's a little bit darker over here, kind of behind your, I guess it would be your left side. If you had
Better.
another light maybe over there to kind of balance the background.
Better now?
I can't. Okay, now I can see you. Well, as far as on your face, I think you were fine. I was just kind of like talking about behind you, the background light.
Oh, yeah.
is that out backwards again? I was goofing around with that.
Yeah, it is.
I don't see it
It is.
backwards.
I do.
Okay.
No, it's straight on. It's right.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Try to read the. Oh, no, it's right. It's right. Wow, where'd you? I don't have
This-
that image on mine at all.
This was not the first camera I ever used, but this was the first SLR I owned and I bought myself. It's a Canon Along 7E. The little latch right in here that this goes into to keep it closed is broken. It will not stay closed. Apparently that latch inside here is just a little piece. Well, I have been waiting for not quite a month. They were estimating it would be here until May 19th, but I got it today. I ordered it on April 19th from eBay. Place in Hong Kong that sells replacement latches because they're very hard to find over here.
Cool.
So now that
hold on just a minute.
Bedford
Rodney,
is open.
on your tabs, go to NextThread Pro Radar and check your time. Yeah.
2 hours
4:56 p.m. No, 4:56. Try 4 hours ago. You need to kill it and bring it back up.
Wrong time.
Yeah, just kill the program and bring it back up.
Oh, can I just do this?
Yeah, just kill the program.
I don't want to kill my program.
It comes right back up. There you go. I was like, that's old radar data. I was looking at that a long time ago.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. As long as it's
But,
going in right, that's all I'm worried about.
That's
How'd
good.
you refresh that?
I just turned off radial data and turned it back on.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
So anyway,
That's a
can do
lake filler
radar.
down there, boy.
So I've got my cam and the
Yeah.
radar together, and go back to camera 2, camera 1. That's slick. And it works right on my iPad, but it'll work on Android and it can work on iPhone. So either one, you know. I think one thing about it though is it's like $2.99 a month. So if I start doing the whole stream thing on my end, then I could see that. But I don't know. I may find some alternatives that's free or cheaper.
No, I rebooted our modem the other day. Power cycled it because I had like I got now. I'm testing at 15 up and 2 down, or 15 down, 2 up, which is compared to what we had the other night. And
bit rate is changing by as much as 2,000 kilobits per second. There's that much variance in the downstream.
Yeah, you're kind of blurry, so I don't know.
Yeah, you and Steve both, your video just kind of got pixely.
oh my God, we may have to get an AT&T person out here. I don't want to do it.
It's been goofing up and acting wacky for years. And they're not going to get me a new modem because it doesn't just quit. So, I don't know.
I mean, at this point, aren't they kind of doing away with the DSL and using Uverse?
It's Uverse.
I have been told
it is Uverse. It is Uverse, but Uverse is a DSL basic. It's a basic DSL connection. Yeah. They're not going to bring fiber to my house, but they've got it to the box.
That pretty much they are, whether there's still anyone using it or not, they are not signing up any new DSL accounts. Anyone that wants internet now with a new account, they are only signing up Uverse.
Yeah, but Uverse is a basic DSL connection.
Oh no, I understand that. Yeah, but it's just the basic DSL is they are not doing it anymore.
So,
Becca, close your door, please.
But I could reboot the modem from here, but guess what?
Drop everything.
Everybody goes bye-bye. But we're all kind of done anyway. We were going to do an hour.
Okay, did you knock us off then?
No.
No.
Not yet.
We're still going.
We're still going. So I made mention of comparing your radar to Franklin's and show the difference of the level 2 and the level 3 data. Level 2 really shows you the pockets of heavier precipitation much better than the level 3. Level 3 will give you a general, like Franklin's going to have a blob that sits between Mountain Home and roughly Willis, well, south of Houston, a blob of red, where Rodney's is going to show that blob of red is much more concentrated and focused on Douglas County and not that whole area. Franklin, go ahead and bring yours back up.
Okay, yeah, I was just refreshing it real quick, and I think I'm kind of zoomed in on that area that you were talking about, so let me go ahead and bring that back up. And I'm assuming you're talking about this general area right in here.
Right. If you look at, then go back to Rodney's, and you can see it details out that quite a bit better. Yeah. See the difference, and it even
I think
shows
we
the little hail shows the little hail core that's popped in there.
That is
Um,
backwards, isn't it?
no, I'm seeing it fine.
Oh, way there.
I'm seeing it reversed on my screen. That's weird.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm-
now I see him.
Yeah, there is a little hail pocket right in there.
Yeah. I will say this. I was sold on Stormlab. I was missing Stormlab. I was frustrated with GR level 3. And kudos to GR level 3 for everything they can do. I am a point and click kind of person. I like to be able to just go. I'm still having to load some packets into WSV3, but they make it easy. And I'm not having to hunt and search. They're built into the program. To just go to the links, go to the areas you want, and do it. But in having used all three over time, even the level 2 data on this just seems to have a clarity that didn't exist on the others. Not sure I was getting level 2 feed to my GR. I don't know, because I was having so much of a struggle getting it set up. I don't think I was.
It just seems like it's sharper, it's more polished, it's slicker looking. The graphics just seem to be much more high end, if you want to use kind of one of those pop words. It just, even of something else that's comparable to the specifications and the features that it has, it looks way better.
Yeah.
Well,
Rodney, can you switch to level 3 and show them the difference? Yeah, show them the difference on this program. Just click the.
Yeah.
See the difference? You lose so much detail. Not that it's not usable. It's very usable. I love my radar scope.
Yeah.
But you do lose a lot of detail.
Well, I mean, while we've got it here, hold on.
Now, see, what I wonder if what they're saying that they have level 2 is maybe are they taking level 2 information and maybe still processing it, but not processing it as much as level 3 would be processed?
Supposedly level 3 is processed. Okay.
Yeah, and
level
that's
2
what I
is
would.
level 2 is supposed to be a direct link.
Mhm.
Which is why it's not compressed. Okay, level 3 is compressed a bit, and level 2 is a direct link. You can't just run any computer to have level 2 data. There's a lot of information being buffered by the system. Because you're getting it direct, you're not getting it processed out.
Lewis was adding a little bit to this on the chat. We were in between two stationary fronts Monday night, one up near Jeff City and one in Newton, Berry, and Jasper County, so that doesn't happen. And I'm just reading what he wrote. It doesn't happen often and saved us from a hard hit.
Yeah, I wish he'd have spoken up and said that.
Well, he was having some issues with breathing. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, he was. He was.
So
he struggles late at night. I think his.
I don't know if you guys want. We can end the live stream because it has been an hour. I don't think we have anything really remarkable to share on the
Gotcha.
live side. We're just preparing for the next round, which will be cold weather.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll just call it a 73 round for the live stream, but we'll stay on this.
Yep.
And 73
Yeah.
from KA0SPM.
73 from KD0AEL.
7-3 from
73
K0
from
Dead.
0RS. Sure.
What?
Right.
Have a good night.